What is the effect of cardio on muscle growth? Some claim it destroys gains, others say it's essential for health, performance, and recovery, so therefore good for gains. However, the truth is more nuanced. Cardio can interfere with hypertrophy, but it depends entirely on how, when, and how much you do it. Muscle growth relies on a combination of mechanical tension, progressive overload, and sufficient recovery. Too much cardio can cut into recovery by increasing fatigue and interfering with the muscle-building signaling pathways, especially if it's done excessively or too close to your lifting sessions. It also increases energy expenditure, which can lead to a calorie deficit if you're not eating enough, although I could argue that cardio's boost on appetite is even bigger than the calorie deficit it gives us. When cardio is implemented intelligently, it will enhance your conditioning, improve blood flow, and even help with recovery between sets and sessions. If you have good heart and conditioning, your training sessions don't take as much time anymore, so you can train in a shorter time since you don't need as long rest periods as you would need if your conditioning was bad. Your recovery time between training sessions will also get shorter, allowing you to train more often, which further helps with muscle growth and strength if you can train more without interfering with recovery. And with this theory, we'd expect that the amount of cardio you do isn't ridiculously high, rather a moderate amount, which is more optimal. It's also important to clarify that cardio doesn't necessarily stop muscle growth altogether, since in most cases, it simply slows the rate of progress down a bit. If someone would gain, for example, 5 kilograms of muscle in a certain period of time with low amounts of cardio, they might only gain about 4 kilos of muscle with higher cardio in that same period of time, assuming that all other variables are controlled. The total potential for growth doesn't vanish, but it can be slightly reduced due to less energy availability and longer recovery demands. This is a key point that's often misunderstood. Timing also matters a lot. Doing cardio right before lifting is generally not ideal if hypertrophy is your goal, because it fatigues the muscles and central nervous system before you've even touched the barbell. This reduces performance in your strength training, which limits stimulus, although a light 5 to 10 minute cardio can have a positive effect since it warms you up and enhances blood flow in your body. Doing cardio immediately after lifting is better than before, but it can still be taxing if the session is long or intense. The best approach is to separate cardio and strength training by several hours if they must be done on the same day. A gap of over 6 hours is generally recommended, while 8 hours or more is ideal, especially if the cardio session is long or intense. If muscle growth is your primary goal, strength training should usually come first or be done on a different day entirely from cardio if that is possible for you. The type of cardio you do also plays a major role. Long, steady-state cardio at high durations, like distance running, is most likely to interfere with hypertrophy, especially if done frequently. This is because it stresses the same muscle groups repetitively, stresses joints, and triggers different adaptations that might not complement hypertrophy. In contrast, low to moderate intensity cardio, like incline walking or cycling for 25 to 50 minutes, has minimal impact on muscle mass and is excellent for cardiovascular health. If your goal is to also improve your overall health and sports performance, you should also do at least once a week high-intensity cardio or HIIT cardio. With HIIT, just remember to be careful about not doing too much of it to avoid excessive fatigue. About 30 minutes to 1 hour a week of HIIT cardio gives you the health benefits without interfering with muscle growth too much. In terms of volume, for someone whose main goal is purely muscle growth, 150 minutes per week with low to moderate intensity is sufficient for general health and recovery benefits without interfering with muscle growth. Athletes or lifters with better conditioning and recovery capacity will be able to handle more cardio per week with minimally reducing muscle growth, especially if they eat enough to support it, while also doing a bit of HIIT cardio on the side. Heart rate also matters a lot. For most steady-state sessions, keeping your heart rate in the 120 to 145 beats per minute range is enough to improve cardiovascular fitness without creating excessive stress. For HIIT cardio, short bursts that elevate your heart rate to 85 to 95% of your max, followed by full recovery, can be effective, but shouldn't be done more than 30 minutes to about an hour per week if your main goal is muscle growth and not sports performance. If your goal is sports performance, you probably should do more of HIIT cardio to perform optimally. And by the way, If you also want to optimize your testosterone levels, which also will heavily help with muscle growth, go and check out the top link in the description for my testosterone optimization course right now.